Why do some drinks taste way better when they're cold? The physical sensation you get when drinking sends the brain a message you're rehydrating. This sensation is even more enhanced when the temperature of your drink is colder or hotter than your throat and mouth. You stimulate the nerves that are in charge of sensing temperature, plus the touch-sensitive nerves. The cold suppresses your sense of sweetness, so when you consume drinks from the store lukewarm, they might be too sweet to you. How come sloths are that slow? Their limited motions are mostly the result of their diet. They usually eat fruits, leaves, and buds. Since there's no proteins or fats in such food, these animals conserve energy by taking it slowly throughout life. An average sloth will travel or climb about 125 feet per day. When they're on land, it takes them almost a minute to move just 1 foot. Their digestive system also matches their slow movements. Sometimes it takes up to a whole month for them to digest their meals. Their metabolic rate is 40 to 45% slower than in most other mammals to help them compensate for such a low calorie intake. That way, the sloth has little fuel to burn, which is why its movements are so chill. Like the majority of four-legged mammals, cats have 5 toes on their front paws, but there are only 4 toes on their back paws. One theory says that fewer toes on the back might help them run faster, and 5 front toes makes it easier for cats to climb trees, grab their prey, or slash. Why do fingernails grow slightly faster in hot weather? Some studies from the 1940s showed season, climate, and geographical location don't affect your fingernails' growth rate. But some other studies show they do grow a bit faster in the summer, and that's probably because of increased blood supply to your fingertips. Plus, during the holidays, you're probably chilling more, so you don't wear your nails away as quickly as when you do when you're constantly moving around. Why don't most of us like to hear the sound of our own voices? And it's not just the singing that's the problem. When you record your voice, it sounds higher pitched than you're used to hearing it. Usually when you hear your voice while speaking, it's conducted through the bones in your head, which is why it sounds deeper. Another reason why you don't like to hear yourself is that when you hear a recording of your own voice, you study it like other people's voices. And you're surprised because it seems like you're giving away a lot in terms of revealing your personality. How come bamboo grows so fast? It's the fastest growing plant on our planet. The Chinese Moso bamboo can grow nearly 3 feet in just 1 day. You can find it in dense forests. There's hardly any light reaching the ground there, so bamboo has a pretty strong and urgent evolutionary pressure to grow tall and reach the sunlight as quickly as possible. There's also a kind of underground stem system where bamboo sprouts connect with their parent plant. This stem is the reason the sprout doesn't really need leaves of its own, at least not until it gets to its full height. Another reason bamboo grows so fast is that it gets taller with a constant diameter. Some other woody plants need a lot of energy on growing rings that thicken their stalks, but bamboo doesn't need it since it's just a single stick going straight up. Why do roads shimmer during hot weather? As the sun's rays beat down on the road, its surface becomes insanely hot. Because of higher temperatures, the layer of air above the road expands and becomes less dense. Because of this, light passes differently through the air from points further down the road, but this effect is not the same in all spots. The rising air is turbulent, so its density and optical effects are changing all the time, which is why you see that specific shimmering effect as you look down the road. Why do bottle caps have 21 spikes? Back in the 1880s, there were more and more carbonated soft drinks on the market, and people really liked them. But different types of bottle caps made of cork, metal, or porcelain were not tight enough, so beverages would lose their sparkles during transportation and their quality would go down. To prevent this, one American inventor came up with a bottle cap called crown cork. It had a wavy edge with 24 serrations, and there was a liner inside to prevent liquid from contacting the metal plate. Eventually, people realized that 24 aliases made the bottle too tight and difficult to open, so they reduced it to 21, which pretty soon became an international standard. Why 21? First, 21 is a multiple of 3. The mechanical principle of physics says you need 3 points to support the object to be stable. It's hard to apply the 3-point rule with the round mouth of the bottle, so it's necessary to choose a number that's a multiple of 3. The second reason, when you incorrectly open a carbonated liquid, the pressure inside the bottle can be uneven, which can hurt you when you want to open your drink. With 21 spikes, it's safer for people to open the lid. And finally, 21 aliases guarantee the bottle cap is firmly fixed and carefully sealed. Why are humans so afraid of bugs? One theory says our ancestors simply had a better chance to survive if they were careful around the bugs. If you stick your head into a bee nest while trying to get honey, you might not live long enough to tell the story about how you did that, so you had to approach warily. Especially since there were so many bugs that were poisonous and dangerous to humans. So, over millions of years, our kind may have evolved a predisposition to feel uncomfortable when we're near spiders, bees, and other bugs. They're small, and they can avoid our stomps and swat while moving pretty fast. And I guess that contributes too. Why is Mars red? It's a rocky planet as old as the rest of our solar system, covered in mountains, volcanoes, many impact craters, and extremely long and deep canyons. But the red color of the fourth rock away from the sun is the result of the high level of iron oxide in the material its surface is made of. It's still a mystery why there's so much oxidized iron on Mars, considering that the planet doesn't have an atmosphere or oxygen. Speaking of, Mars wasn't always without an atmosphere. A long time ago, it was a warm, wet planet with an atmosphere as thick as the one Earth has today. Now it's just a dusty old place because of atmospheric erosion. It's a result of a process we know as sputtering. This happens because of ions carried by the solar wind. They knock atoms out of the atmosphere and catapult them into space. One more fun fact about Mars: the color of the sky up there is the opposite of the one you see on Earth. That means that up there, you'd see blue sunsets and sunrises, while the sky gets a reddish-pink color in the daytime. This unusual color during the day is there because of the vast amounts of dust that contains iron ore suspended in the atmosphere. Why does the moon change its shape? It goes through different phases each month: the new moon, the full moon, and then back again. The light coming from the sun only hits one of its halves at a time, which means it gives the moon a day side and a night side, just like we have on our planet. The shape we see on the Earth depends on where the moon is compared to the sun. If it's directly between the sun and our planet, the sunlight only falls on the side we can't see. In that case, we see a new moon. It appears dark in the sky. But when the moon is on the far side of our planet from the sun, it's a full moon because we're facing its day side. Once the moon is new, we'll be able to see a bigger part of its surface in the sky as it orbits our planet. We call it the first quarter moon when it's half full. When it grows in size but is not yet full, it's a gibbous moon. After the full moon, it shrinks, goes through different phases, and eventually returns to a new moon shape.
Now, when you think about it, most bottles have one thing in common: long necks. Ever wondered why? Well, there are several reasons, none of which involve those other long necks, giraffes and ostriches. For starters, have you ever poured something into a glass from a wide jar? It can be real hard since water often sticks to a wide surface and then spills around. The reason it happens is physics. Air and liquid tend to flow along a surface. This phenomenon is called the Coanda effect. It's hard to pour liquid because of this effect. The liquid molecules are drawn to the jar's surface. Another reason is surface tension, which means that the molecules of a liquid tend to stick to one another rather than to the air. So, the water stays together and flows together down the surface instead of going where you want it to go. A narrow neck makes it easier to pour and drink from the bottle since there's a smaller surface for the liquid to spread around. Another reason is practical. A smaller neck requires less material to make it and a smaller cap to close it. This way, they can reduce the cost of the bottle. And one more reason: the necks prevent you from warming up the drink. If there's no neck, you'll most likely hold the bottle in the middle, right where the liquid is. The warmth from your hands will be rapidly warming up the drink inside. If there's a neck, you'll hold the bottle by the neck. It'll minimize the amount of heat transferred to the bottle, and your drink will stay cold longer. If you use reusable bottles, you probably know that sometimes they smell. Even if you only use it for regular water, it still smells. But it's not the water that smells, it's the microorganisms in it. If you drink water from a bottle, the particles of your saliva and sweat stay in there. Those bacteria start to build up in the bottle, causing the smell. So, if you choose reusable bottles, make sure to wash them every day to prevent those bacteria from building up. After washing, let it dry completely before using it again. Some people reuse plastic bottles, but it's not always safe because most of them are intended for single use. The main concern here is chemical leaching. The chemicals that are used to produce a plastic bottle can mix with the liquid. If you reuse a plastic bottle, wear and tear can create tiny, unnoticeable scratches inside the bottle, where more bacteria can grow. So, if you need a bottle to use for a while, invest in one that is made to be reused. But don't forget to wash it every day. Now, jeans first appeared in 1873. They were invented by Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss. Davis was a tailor who was producing covers and tents, and Strauss was a businessman who, among other things, was selling cloth. The first jeans were made by Davis from denim, the fabric he bought from Levi Strauss & Company. Together, they patented the design. Blue was a standard color for denim that was dyed using an indigo dye. The blue color is a tradition that's still often followed today to replicate the original look of a pair of jeans. Jeans also have metal rivets, and they are there from the very beginning. Jacob Davis, the man who made the first pair of jeans, added copper rivets to spots where pants are more likely to rip, flies and pockets, to make them stronger. Today, they have more of a decorative purpose since they are distinctive and traditional for jeans. Another special thing about jeans is those tiny pockets they have that seemingly serve no purpose. Well, maybe it's true now, but years ago, when many cowboys were wearing jeans, the pocket was made specifically to keep a pocket watch there. Also, back then, a pair of jeans had just 4 pockets: that tiny pocket, the watch pocket, 2 big pockets in front, and just 1 pocket on the back. Many zippers have the letters YKK engraved on them. It's an abbreviation that stands for the name of the company that can be translated as Yoshida Manufacturing Shareholding Company. This Japanese company is the largest zipper manufacturer in the world, so they put their initials on all the zippers they produce. That's around half of all the zippers in the world, and that's why you see their zippers more often than any other zippers. Now, zipping along, not only are the jeans blue, but the police officers' uniforms as well. The first official police officers appeared in the 19th century in London. They were given a blue uniform to contrast with the red and white uniform that military workers had already been wearing. 2 decades afterward, the police force was adopted in the USA, and they followed the patterns. The uniform is still blue nowadays because it proved to be a good color. It's not that visible in dark hours, and police officers can observe things and people staying unnoticed. Also, stains aren't that visible on dark material. And, well, everyone knows that police officers wear blue and they're recognized by it. So, why change that? Those little white golf balls have dimples all over them. It turns out they aren't there just randomly. At first, golfers were playing with a smooth ball. With time, the ball would get all punched and damaged, but also, it would start to travel way further. The reason here is aerodynamics. Dimples allow the air to flow more smoothly around the ball, taking it further. So the idea was adopted, and the balls got their dimples all around, allowing them to travel longer distances. Now sometimes, when birds go somewhere far away across the ocean, they can spend days flying. Now I've always wondered how they sleep on the way. Turns out there are several ways. Some birds are always just half asleep. Half of their brain is working and the other half is sleeping, just like mine. Then they switch and the other half sleeps. Other birds just take short naps throughout the day. And when I say short, I mean it. On average, a nap lasts around 9 seconds, and during that time, the bird is just coasting. Throughout the day, those naps add up, and a bird gets its sleeping time. Horseshoes are real shoes for horses. People attach them to their pets' hooves. They do it to protect the hooves in particularly tough and damaging environments, like tough pavements made of unnatural materials that horses aren't naturally adapted to. Horseshoes have their bizarre shape because they're nailed to the hoof. The center of a horse's hoof is sensitive, and they would feel the pain if someone tried to attach the horseshoe in the middle. But the sides of the hooves don't feel any pain, and for this reason, horseshoes are round and have an empty center, kinda like attaching fake fashion fingernails. Reading sometimes makes you doze off, and people who have trouble sleeping often take advantage of this and read in the evening to fall asleep. But if you don't want to fall asleep, why does it still happen? Well, usually, you read in a quiet and relaxing atmosphere, and also in bed or in a comfortable armchair wrapped up in blankets. This isn't only a perfect atmosphere for a read, but for falling asleep as well. Your mind stops wondering about all the troubles you had during the day, focusing on one thing. So it goes to the right mood, ideal for falling asleep, and so it does. Most shampoos say that you should wash your hair twice. But is it true, or is it just their way to make you use more of the product and buy it more often? Well, it depends on how often you wash your hair. Typically, the first wash removes all the dirt and dead cells, and the second wash moisturizes your hair and scalp. So yes, 2 times is a good thing to do, but only if you wash your hair once in several days. If you wash it every day or every other day, there's not that much dirt accumulated there, and 1 wash is enough for you. Baby carrots are tiny and, unlike regular carrots, wet. Baby carrots aren't some special sort of carrots. They're actually made of regular carrots by cutting off the skin and outer layers and then polishing them to look that pretty. The problem is they can't retain moisture. A regular carrot retains some water inside because of the layers that lock it in. Once they're chopped out, baby carrots can dry out easily, so they usually sell them in bags with some water inside. Toy stores are filled with Beanie Babies plush toys, and a detail that is even more iconic than their huge eyes is their tag saying Thai. That's a small manufacturing company not many people have heard of. Beanie Babies appeared in 1993, and they went insanely popular. Thai is the name of the company, but it's not an abbreviation. It's the actual name of the company's founder, H. Thai Warner.
Leaving your valuables or a chocolate bar in a car is a no-brainer. But there are other things people often overlook. Here's what to watch out for before leaving your car. Number 1 is aerosol cans, hairspray, deodorant, spray paint, household cleaner, and that sort. On the back of these cans, you might notice a storage temperature recommendation. Well, stick to that. Here's what can happen. Since these cans are pressurized, they become more sensitive to temperature. What's inside the aerosol may expand, and this may result in a crack, and then the can can blow up. Temperatures above 100 degrees Fahrenheit are already alarming, and it can easily get as hot as that in your car on a warm summer day. Researchers from the USA have figured out how long it takes a car to turn into a sweat factory on a hot day. Within 1 hour, the insides of the car parked in the sun reaches 95 degrees Fahrenheit or hotter, with an average temperature of 116 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if you want your car in one piece and running, take aerosol cans with you. The second item is sunscreen. Sunscreen is vital for your skin since it decreases the risk of skin complications and prevents skin aging caused by the sun. This includes wrinkles, sagging, and age spots. But when you leave sunscreen in your car, it gets exposed to high temperatures, and it can ultimately shorten its shelf life. If you end up finding spoiled sunscreen, you might notice a funny smell when you open the cap. Plus, the heat might cause the cap to open, and the sticky substance will get all over the car. The same rule applies to lipsticks and other cosmetics as well. The next one is plastic bottles. There are 2 reasons why you shouldn't leave them inside your car. Firstly, a plastic water bottle can act as a lens, magnifying the sun's rays and starting a fire. A fire department in Oklahoma conducted an experiment and confirmed that the danger of fire was real. David Richardson from that department says it can happen if the beam of light is focused enough. The second reason is related to your health. Many plastic bottles contain bisphenol, a potentially toxic compound. The BPA levels can increase at high temperatures, and that can be harmful to your body. There's a chance that this chemical can get into your drink after you leave the bottle inside the vehicle. Oh, and batteries. They can lose their capacity to work at full power when they're left abandoned in the car. You can buy a new pair and fix this problem, but it won't be as easy to solve the problem of leakage or a rupture. It can be bad for your health because battery acid is dangerous when inhaled and highly corrosive. The reason for leakage is again related to high temperatures. Battery manufacturers recommend keeping their products at room temperature. This fact is partially related to batteries. It's about electronics. Have you ever realized how hot your phone can get when it's exposed to the sun? You're driving, and let's say, looking at the GPS on your phone. Even in this situation, your phone can heat up. What will happen to it after hours of sun exposure? Phone companies are strongly against customers leaving their devices in vehicles because they might shut down, get damaged, or, boom! Personal belongings are another priority on the list. A wallet or a handbag may come to one's mind first. Yet, a passport or even some change you leave near the passenger seat is sometimes enough to attract a thief. Better to keep such stuff out of sight, for example, by storing it in the trunk instead of leaving it in the back seat. Number 7 is also related to theft. Life can be too hectic sometimes, and it's understandable if you can't clean your car frequently, but leaving garbage in the car is another mistake. Thieves tend to search for messy-looking cars. They think that the owner doesn't use such a vehicle frequently. How about plants? I know it isn't that common to keep plants in the car on a daily basis, but sometimes you need to move them. The heat inside the vehicle can easily dehydrate the poor thing. Medications are another thing you shouldn't keep in the car for too long. The constantly changing temperatures inside the vehicle can decrease the effectiveness of your pills. Authorities recommend keeping most medications at 59 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit in a cool and dry place. Important documents that contain your personal data shouldn't be left in the vehicle either. Some examples of such documents are tax forms, financial statements, and school transcripts. A thief could commit fraud or identity theft using this valuable information. And there's also food and drinks. Experts recommend not leaving groceries or leftovers in a warm car for more than 2 hours, or only an hour when it's over 90 degrees Fahrenheit. The same rule applies in the winter too. Canned foods, for example, have a high risk of going bad. If a can of sweet peas, let's say, gets frozen in the car, the effect will be similar to what would happen to soda. Let it thaw in the refrigerator instead of leaving it at room temperature. If the product doesn't look or smell normal, throw it away in a place where not even an animal can find it. Don't try to taste it, just trust your senses. If the item seems rusted or there are some cracks in the can, it should end up in the trash too. Eggs are another example. Normally, eggs shouldn't be frozen. But let's suppose you forgot one grocery bag in the trunk of the car, and the weather was so cold at night that the eggs got frozen. Keep the eggs in the refrigerator before use. They should be hard-cooked. It's your only option. You see, freezing causes the yolk to become thick and syrup-like. It loses that natural flow and doesn't mix well with other ingredients. You shouldn't leave your pets alone in the car, obviously, and not just because of a potential rise in temperature. They will feel uncomfortable without you, their best friend, accompanying them. In their frustration, they might do something to get noticed, which can be, for example, ruining the interior of the vehicle. Now let's return to the winter season again. If possible, keep the gas tank of your car over half full. This can prevent the fuel lines from freezing. It also makes it easier to start the engine and hit the road in the morning. While keeping an eye on the fuel bar, it might be a good idea to glance at the tire pressure too. The cold can result in tire pressure drops. Not only high, but also low temperatures can damage some items. A good example is paint cans. They should be quickly taken out of the vehicle in the winter. the ingredients in the paint can experience expansion, separation, and clumping due to the cold. In other words, you won't be able to use this paint anymore. Weather also affects wooden musical instruments like violins or guitars. Changes in temperature and humidity can cause wooden instruments to warp, crack, or split. Glasses get affected by fluctuating temperatures too. In a hot car, plastic frames can bend. Or plastic can become brittle when it's very cold. This makes glasses prone to breaking. Don't leave house keys and garage door openers inside the car. This is an everyday practice for many people, but it's risky. They can get into the wrong hands. To listen to music, most people connect their phones to the car or listen to the radio. CDs are getting less and less used these days, but don't leave them in the car anyway. They might get warped, and you won't be able to use them anymore. Can you think of any other items you shouldn't leave in the car?
It's not an accident that soy sauce bottles have two spouts. The sauce is liquid and it flows out of the bottle pretty quickly once you turn it over. Most Asian food lovers have spilled it at least once in a lifetime. That's why nowadays, restaurants prefer serving soy sauce in special bottles that have two spouts. This design allows you to control when and how much sauce will come out. Just put your finger on one spout when you pour the sauce through another. If you press your finger tightly to the spout, the sauce will stop flowing, and if you remove your finger, it will flow again. Oh, nuts! Not all pistachios are easy to get. Therefore, people have come up with many devices and life hacks to split the hard peel. But what if you don't have any useful tools around you? Well, try to open a pistachio with another pistachio. These little candles in metal cups are called tea lights for a reason. Japanese tea houses initially used them for keeping the tea warm during traditional tea ceremonies. And today, you don't need any special equipment to do the same thing at home. Put the candle in a bowl and place your kettle on top of the bowl. The diameter of the bowl should be narrower than the bottom of your kettle. You can use the same technique to keep your food warm and even surprise your guests with delicious fondue. I am fond of fondue. How about you? Don't rush to throw away the metal cups and wick holders. You can reuse them. Take a wick out of a regular candle and cut it into pieces of suitable length. Put the pieces inside the wick holders, then melt the wax and pour it into the cups. You can add essential oils and crumble wax crayons inside the wax to make your own unique and fragrant handmade candles. Metal candle cup is also a great tool to cut cookie dough into small circles. If you wear baseball caps, you probably wondered why they have these eyelets on the back. These small holes in each of the 6 crowns of the cap provide ventilation to your head. Also, if the size of the cap is too large, you can regulate it. Insert a lace into the eyelets and tighten them. It may look a little weird, but at least the cap won't fly away in the wind. A hair straightener is an excellent tool for not only treating your natural curls, but also for fixing crumpled money or documents. You can also use a regular iron for this purpose. Just make sure you don't turn on steaming mode. Otherwise, there's a risk of damaging the paper. Back to food. When your long-awaited yummy pizza finally arrives, don't rush to throw away the box. Tear the lid off along the fold line and divide it into 4 squares. Perfect disposable plates for pizza slices. Very handy when you eat outdoors or just don't want to wash the dishes. Well-known American bakery products, such as bagels and donuts, usually have one similar feature: a hole in the middle. The reason behind this phenomenon is more practical than aesthetic. When bakery manufacturers just started to cook donuts, they faced a problem. Donuts refused to bake evenly. The dough remained moist in the middle, while the edges got dry and crispy. So the manufacturers decided to leave holes in the middle of the buns, and it helped. If your washing machine breaks down, it may still serve you well. Pull out the drum and make a stylish brazier for your barbecue parties. Tea bags that we use today exist thanks to people's ignorance. No one knows exactly who invented them first, though. But one of the most popular legends says that American tea importer Thomas Sullivan offered samples of his tea packed in small silk pouches around a century ago. It was an easy and convenient way to organize tea tastings for potential wholesale buyers. But the customers took that too literally and began to brew tea by dipping the silk pouches directly into boiled water. And eventually, this brand new way of brewing became very popular. Clear nail polish has many areas of use. You can seal an envelope, protect iron cans in your bathroom from rust, apply it on fabric or lace to keep them from unraveling, and even repair home items. If you've scratched any wood furniture or floors, nail supplies can help to avoid splinters and damaging the wood with water splashes. Rub the scratch with a nail file, apply clear nail polish, and wait until it dries and hardens. If your tights are torn, apply nail polish around the entire snag or hole. When the polish hardens, turn the tights inside out and repeat the same process. Doing this will prevent the hole from widening. Having a bunch of similar keys may confuse anyone. You can paint them in different colors using nail polish and save your time. Multicolored bristles on your toothbrush serve a practical purpose. When the color fades, consider it as a sign that it's time to change the brush. Acrylic and oil paints usually come in metal tubes. If you want to paint a masterpiece but struggle to open the tubes properly, take the plastic lid off and turn it over. There's a special tip inside the lid. It will help to pierce the protective metal layer. Just make sure you don't press too hard on the tube, otherwise the paint will squirt out unexpectedly. Whoops! Chopsticks are one of the most multifunctional inventions in the world. For example, you can use them to support indoor plants. Place one stick inside the soil vertically next to the plant and fix them together with a string. The chopstick is also a handy tool when you try to pour essential oil from one bottle to another, especially when the bottleneck is small. Grab a chopstick, put it vertically, and pour the oil slowly onto the chopstick. It will help to direct the oil into the bottle and avoid spilling it all over the place. Furthermore, when you need to remove pits from cherries or any other berries, chopsticks can help as well. Place the end of the stick in the center of the cherry, push, and pop out the pit. To make this even more convenient, place the cherry on the neck of a bottle. Also, don't rush to throw away disposable chopsticks. When you collect enough sticks, you can create handmade interior decorations. A mirror frame in the shape of a sun, a picture frame, or a wooden lattice for photo collages, to name a few. Just stick the chopsticks together with a glue gun and paint them in your favorite color. Speaking of interior design, and I was, dominoes can be used to make a stylish handmade wall clock. Put the 12 figures in a circle and stick them up instead of the corresponding numbers. Modern standard forks have 4 tines, not only because it's the most convenient and practical choice. One of the popular explanations claims that people had initially associated forks with a human palm, and tines symbolize the 4 fingers, except for the thumb. Lemons are good not only for lemonade, but for your feet too. It can help to soften the skin on your heels. Cut the lemon into 2 halves, squeeze out the juice, and apply the peel on your heels. Then put socks over the peel and wait for 30 minutes. Remove the lemon halves, wipe the heels, and apply moisturizer. Hey, your feet are soft and beautiful. Hairbands are good not only for getting your hair done, but also to open a glass jar with canned food. Modern Market offers a variety of travel kits for males and females in all shapes and sizes. But there's an easier way. Surprise! A towel can serve not only as a towel, but also as a handy organizer. Lay a small face towel down on a flat surface and roll up 1/3. Then draw vertical lines with the fabric to create pockets. Put all your toiletries inside the pockets and roll the towel. An eraser is a great tool when you need to remove small dark scuffs and traces from different surfaces in your house. And if your habit is to lose your earrings all the time, an eraser will help to deal with this issue. Just pin the earrings into the eraser when you don't wear them. You can use the same technique to keep needles and pins. Shiny shoes often have scratches and scuffs. Use an eraser to remove these imperfections and then wipe off the shoes. As for suede boots, an eraser can help to remove imperfections and dust. Just make sure that you rub your shoes gently and the eraser is soft and dry, because suede is a rather fragile material. Use tape to make a fly trap. Hang a long piece of tape in the kitchen or by the window. The flies will stick to the tape. Stick pieces of tape on the legs of chairs that you often move across the floor. Doing so will protect your floor from scratches. If you're purchasing a special triangle cake knife, take two. Cutting and pulling out a piece of cake with two knives is way easier. Just squeeze both sides of the piece vertically and put it in a separate place. This way, the risk of damaging the cake is lower. And don't forget to cut me a piece. I like cake, really.
There are some inventions that make us say, "Dude, why didn't I come up with this?" And then you have the next question. Why don't we have it in my hometown yet? I'm talking about things like splash-proof toilets, liquid trees, and skyscrapers with slides. Yep, they're all pretty real, and you're about to fall in love with them. Have you ever used a public bathroom in the summer in your shorts and sandals and got splashed? It happens to the best of us, so no worries. If only there was some solution to this problem. Perhaps a urinal with a small hole so no liquid goes where it shouldn't. Looks pretty yucky and painful to me. An assistant professor at the University of Waterloo, Zhao Pen, and his colleagues came up with a way better solution for this sensitive issue. Their designs were inspired by physics and dogs. When a stream of liquid moves on a solid surface at a shallow angle, the splash is reduced, and the smaller the angle, the fewer splashes you'll see. You can even minimize them to a zero. And when dogs do their business, they lift their hind legs and do it on the vertical surface of a tree or a wall. I don't know if they actually care about it, but this does reduce the splash. Good job, Pluto! The team invented several models and presented them at the American Physical Society conference, and it was a hit. The inventors say that all of the models are no splash, but their favorites are the slice of apple and the one that looks like a tall and slender J with a narrow and long opening. The new urinals aren't just super cool, but also more sustainable. You won't have to wash the floor with water, chemicals, and human energy after every use, which is a win-win. Here's another innovative public toilet idea for you, this time from Japan. They have completely transparent walls, which means, yes, you can see everything that's going on inside, from the toilet itself to the hand wash sink. It sounds pretty creepy, but the idea was actually to create a safe restroom in the park. Visitors can see if there's someone hiding inside before entering, and also check if the toilet is clean before entering. When you go inside and lock the door, the walls change color to opaque, and no one will be able to see you. They used glass covered with PDLC film to make the walls, which allowed them to go from being transparent to safely intense using electricity. Alright, now you've nearly convinced me to try one of those magical toilets. Oh, and they also double as excellent lanterns in the dark, shining bright in different colors. Bring a couple to my local park, I don't mind. Take a deep breath. If you don't like what you're breathing in, do something about it. That must have been exactly what the smart guys at the University of Belgrade, Serbia thought and invented the liquid tree. The liquid 3, not the pun and laugh a bit, consists of a glass tank filled with over 150 gallons of water, some microalgae, and a solar panel which provides electricity to a small pump. The microalgae need heating, so just in case there's no sun and the temperatures drop, the photobioreactor is also connected to the city grid. Microalgae work hard to do some photosynthesis magic and convert water and CO2 into oxygen, and then it goes into the atmosphere. The liquid tree also comes with a bench to sit on and enjoy its work. The liquid 3 needs more work than a regular tree in the park. They need to replace the water and microalgae almost completely every month and a half. And they also need to take out the biomass that is the byproduct of the process, and let's admit, nothing can replace those blooming babes in spring. If you ever find yourself casually wandering in the forests of Estonia, don't freak out if you see some giant megaphones. These wooden acoustic giants were set 3 hours away from the country's capital by interior architecture students. That's way cooler than the hamster roller coaster I once built for a science fair, I have to admit. More than half of Estonia is covered by woods, and they're pretty proud of this natural wealth. So it's not the first art project of this kind. and there was a winding, elevated pathway and a faceted woodland cabin. The idea of the megaphones is to crank up the natural sounds of a forest and also to serve as a rest spot for hikers. These wooden beauties are large enough to host several people. And hey, if you walk this far into the woodland, you'll be thankful for this. The students were given a task to invent some concepts of a forest library. They built the megaphones off-site and brought them to their permanent spots. They're set in such a way that sounds from 3 directions meet in the center and create a cool, natural surround sound effect. Have you ever helped your friends move into a new apartment in a building without an elevator? Then you're gonna love this one. Houses in Amsterdam have hooks on top. This is a medieval invention for pulling stuff up the houses. The simple tech consisting of a wheel and a rope still functions now, centuries later. Why not just use the stairs? Well, if you get inside one of those narrow Amsterdam buildings, you'll see there's hardly enough room to comfortably ascend, and you can forget about even trying to pull a table on top. Back in the medieval ages, pretty much like now, only rich people could afford housing around the canals in the best parts of the city. Those people were mostly traders and used the canals for their business. They stored goods in the same houses they lived in, and with regular floods, they had to find a way to keep the goods dry. And that's why they needed to invent something to lift furniture, goods, boxes, instruments, and food on the upper floors and pull it in through fully open, wide windows. The lifting tech is one of the reasons the houses in Amsterdam are leaning forward. This position helped keep both the lifted stuff and the walls and windows safe during transportation. They didn't have to touch each other. The gables also assisted in the process and had to be made firm to withstand all the heavy weight. And in case you're wondering what gables are, they're sections of wall between the edges of a dual-pitched roof, typical for Amsterdam. Folks who live or work in skyscrapers have the opposite problem. Getting out of the building can take a while as you wait in line for the elevator. A slide going from the top of a skyscraper could be a solution. In 2016, they added one outside of the US Bank Tower in Los Angeles at the height of 1,000 feet. The see-through slide, made of glass just 1 inch thick, was built to withstand hurricane-force winds and earthquakes. It was built to bring tourists to the building, though not for the convenience of office workers. And then they decided it wasn't such a great idea, so the slide was removed as part of the reconstruction of the building. A Hong Kong photographer and editor who became famous online went even wilder with his imagination and designed a double-decker bus with a slide. It's not his only futuristic photography masterpiece, as he likes to play with perspective and proportions. I can totally see myself sliding away when someone asks me to pay for the ride.
In California, there's this light bulb that has been shining bright since 1901. Originally a 30-watt lamp, this special thing now emits a cozy glow, similar to a 4-watt nightlight. It was created by a French inventor, Adolphe Chaillet, who produced the hand-blown carbon filament common light bulb back in the late 1890s. The bulb's journey took an interesting turn when the company's owner donated it to the local fire department. Since then, it has hardly ever been turned off, earning the well-deserved title of the world's longest-lasting light bulb. Now let's shed some light on the lifespan of modern versions. The lifetimes depend on the brand, technology, and type. Nowadays, a new generation bulb can last beyond 20,000 hours. We went forward in technology and developed much further, but a light bulb from 2 centuries ago was more durable than the recent ones. That's kinda weird. And if you noticed, this contradiction isn't limited to light bulbs. It's like everything we buy these days tends to break down much faster than it used to. Well, that's because of something called planned obsolescence. It's when companies design products to wear out quickly or become useless in a short amount of time. The sneaky idea behind this is to make you buy new stuff or upgrades. Some countries have actually banned this practice because, it's not cool. It all started with the car industry in the United States back in 1924. This guy named Alfred P. Sloan Jr., who worked for General Motors, suggested releasing new car models every year to keep sales going. Planned obsolescence works best when a company has a bit of a monopoly or at least very few competitors. Before they implement this tactic, they need to be pretty sure that you'll come back to them for a replacement because you're loyal to their brand. They know how long the product is designed to last, but you don't. Interestingly, products tend to last longer when there's more competition in the market. For example, when Japanese cars with longer lifespans hit the American market in the 1960s and 70s, American car makers had to step up their game and make more durable cars to keep up. So, what's good and bad about planned obsolescence? Well, from the manufacturer's point of view, it's great. It helps them make money and keeps the economy rolling because people continue buying new stuff. It also pushes companies to invest in research and development, which can lead to cool innovations. But on the downside, there's a load of waste involved. We're talking tons of it. Plus, we're using up precious resources. There are different types of this notion. Systemic planned obsolescence happens when your computer or other gadgets can't handle the latest updates or connect with new accessories because the technology has changed. If it's perceived, then the perspective around the item changes. For instance, smartphone or fashion designers change the style of their products to make the older ones seem less cool. And if it's dated, then yeah, there's this secret extermination date. Some products just stop working or get turned off after a certain date, forcing you to buy a new one. Then there's legal planned obsolescence. This is when a law is passed that makes it illegal to use certain products. Some products are designed with the phrase, "no repairs allowed" in mind. Have you ever tried fixing your broken electronics? Well, some companies make it impossible by developing their products in a way that you can't open them or replace parts. Another production strategy is made to break. Some products are purposely designed to wear out quickly. Manufacturers use flimsy materials that get easily damaged or worn out. And sometimes you can't even upgrade the software on your computer or phone because it's not compatible anymore. How about those non-replaceable batteries? You know those devices that have built-in batteries you can't change? Well, after a couple of years, those batteries go down, and you're forced to buy a whole new device instead of just replacing the battery. We experience the same thing with clothes as well. Vintage pieces tend to last for decades, but if you buy a new t-shirt, even if it's from a decent brand, you get issues after a couple of years. We didn't arrive at this point in a day. A recent study made about tights revealed a new secret. It turns out that clothing brands are intentionally making women's tights that are prone to lathering, causing them to be thrown away after just 6 uses. Our grandmother's tights withstood way more wear and tear than ours. 130 million pairs of tights are sold in France alone every year. In this study, almost 2/3 of the participants indeed admitted that their tights barely made it past 6 uses. I mean, they didn't get bored of wearing them. The tights became unwearable due to their fragile nature. On average, women end up buying around 10 to 11 pairs of tights per season to keep up with the constant need for replacements. The study pointed fingers at the two main culprits: poor quality fabric and the use of additives that supposedly make the tights less durable. Apparently, tights manufacturers produce them more like tubes to cut costs, neglecting the natural contours of human legs. They also seem to lack the attention to detail that comes with finishing products by hand. The clothing game, in general, has seen some major transformations in recent decades. And it's all been influenced by a bunch of different factors. We're talking about technological advancements, shifts in how we shop, and changes in how clothes are made. Back in the day, clothes were generally made of natural materials like cotton, wool, and silk. They were meant to hang around in your wardrobe for ages. But now, things have taken a turn. The spotlight is on synthetic materials like polyester and nylon. Sure, they're cheaper to produce, but they might not hold up as well or feel as comfy. Oh, and let's not forget the rise of fast fashion. It's all about producing tons of super cheap clothes that you wear for a hot minute before tossing them aside. Quality isn't always the priority here. Speed and low cost are the big players in the game. But hey, don't lose hope. There's a brighter side to this story. More and more people are jumping on the sustainable and ethical fashion train. They want clothes made from eco-friendly stuff and created under fair labor conditions, and guess what? This movement is bringing quality and durability back into the spotlight. Brands are stepping up their game and making clothes that are built to last. So, yeah, the clothing world has seen some big changes. With the rise of fast fashion, we've seen a shift toward cheaper and less durable materials. But at the same time, there's a growing crowd pushing for sustainable, ethical, and high-quality fashion. It's like a fashion tug-of-war, but we'll see who wins in the end. Back to the reliability of cars nowadays. It seems like new vehicles are experiencing more breakdowns. And it's not just the typical engine and gearbox issues that some brands used to have. Nope. Now it's the climate control systems, electrics, in-car entertainment units, onboard electronics, and even power windows that are giving up in the first few years. This tech issue isn't, of course, specific to automobiles. Apple admitted to deliberately slowing down iPhones. Then there are refrigerators. They've got a compressor problem. Those last only about 1/3 to 1/4 of their previous lifespan. They also have red flags related to their doors. Instead of being screwed on tightly, they're sort of glued in place. All that pulling the door in the middle of the night when you can't sleep can lead to trouble. Over time, the doors lose their friction and start acting all wobbly. Overall, there's a bright side to this notion. Now there are products that are made to last less to help the environment. For example, seaweed bags instead of plastic bags. Fancy a cup of tea? Then dissolvable tea bags got you covered. Edible water blobs and edible spoons are next-level inventions. Numerous brands sell detergent or shampoo pods and toothpaste tablets.
Wow, look at that! One Reddit user has grown a perfectly square salt crystal. And the best thing? It's edible! People in the comments shared their experience of growing salt crystals. They say that the best way to get such beautifully shaped crystals is by leaving a dish with salty water indoors for a month. The water will gradually evaporate and you'll have your crystals. This sure looks like a futuristic picture, but it's actually a real-life place. That's what was left after a volcanic eruption at the Cumbre Vieja Ridge in La Palma, Canary Islands. Now, I wonder what they're going to do with all that ash. It doesn't seem like it's impossible to just plow it away or wait for it to melt. Uh-oh, look at this tree. It seems to be desperate to get some help. Who knows what troubles it? Well, in reality, the tree has grown around this sign, and now only the word help is visible. Look at this teeny lightning bolt. How cute is it? Heh, just kidding. Someone just managed to capture a picture of them shocking their girlfriend. Still awesome. This circle appeared in the evening sky over Beijing, China. One Reddit user posted it and triggered a discussion about the nature of this bizarre phenomenon. Most people agreed with the theory that it was the reflection of a light show. Now, for some reason, this person stabbed a bottle of hand sanitizer with a tack. A few months later, they spotted something was growing on that tack. Ugh, can it just be good old rust? Whatever it is, that's one thing I'm not sure about. No one should use this sanitizer anymore. This is one of the most unbelievable and, at the same time, revolting findings. It's a snake shedding, and it comes together with the eye skin. Ew! All because snakes don't have eyelids. Instead, they have eye caps, specially adapted scales covering their eyes. And during a shedding cycle, these eye caps also come off. Ah, look at this beauty. Someone has grown this crystal from scrap copper and vinegar. Its scientific name is copper acetate. It took the person 7 months to grow such a large crystal. And it formed this way naturally. No one polished or cut it. Oh, and do you see that tiny tail? It's there because the crystal was grown on a piece of fishing line. Are these also some crystals? Frost? Spider web? Nope, it's just a red crayon on paper under a microscope with 400 times magnification. And this Reddit user from Sweden was going to work when they came across a geothermal anomaly. Look at this rock sticking out of the snow. It was warm to the touch, a bit warmer than human body temperature. There were also no tracks around this spot. So, what's your bet? What is this thing? Share your ideas in the comments below. And this person accidentally found a mushroom. Yes, a large legit mushroom growing inside a glass globe. I wonder how it got there. And, most importantly, why? Someone found an old light bulb in their grandparents' house. Its construction was finished in 1902. And still, the light bulb still functioned. I wish everything in my life was as reliable as that light bulb. Wow, marriage certificates were literally next level in the past. Look at this marriage certificate from 1895. It was discovered during the renovation of a cabin. Isn't it absolutely amazing? This tree is pretty cool. Its roots have long outgrown their spot, but look, it's still trying to keep them in check. Or rather, in shape. Rectangular shape. Uh-oh, someone's lost their cell phone. They must be devastated. But you know what? It's Nokia. I bet it still works. Have you ever seen a cut tree? If so, you must have noticed a series of concentric rings. These rings can tell you a lot about the tree, how old it is, what the weather was like during each year of the tree's life. Dark rings represent wood that grew in the late summer or fall, and light-colored rings represent wood that grew in the spring and early summer. So one light and one dark ring mean 1 year of a tree's life. But look at this tree. What can we say about it? I'm not really sure. Maybe that it's pretty, unique, and apparently likes to stand out? This isn't your regular tomato. Oh no, this one is a bit creepy because it seems to be growing more tomatoes inside its own body. Unsettling. And this person bought an ice cream cone. The only thing missing was the cone. Duh, I'll never call myself unlucky anymore. Some insect, perhaps a caterpillar, chewed on this leaf. But by doing so, it created a beautiful, symmetrical design. Do you think it was an accident or a plan? Another person bought this watermelon. Little did they know that after cutting it, they would be in for a nice surprise. Because just how beautiful is that? What would you do if you found such a watermelon? Be very attentive while roaming the streets of Rome, because you can come across such an amazing piece of art. A face carved into a cut tree. And this, may I call it a monster? Because it sure looks like one. Anyway, a couple found this thing while they were hiking in a forest. I bet they were scared, at least at first. On the other hand, I have a suspicion that someone helped this tree look this terrifying. What do you think? This one looks like a hieroglyph to me. But no, if we look closer, it becomes apparent that road workers were just playing a game of tic-tac-toe. The nerve of them! Would you get scared if you found this message on a random banana in a supermarket? Duh, I've got so many questions. Who exactly is coming? Why are they coming? And many more. One Reddit user found 4 or 5 such concrete shoes scattered around their town. They got curious, but no one could tell them who had made these shoes or why they had done it. And this person was lucky, or should I say unlucky, to find a cucumber without any seeds in it. Unlike this next Reddit user, when they opened their ice cream, they found 5 sticks in it. How did they even fit? There's more wood than ice cream here. I've heard that medical students sometimes perform surgeries on grapes to acquire basic microsurgical skills. Do you think something like that could have happened to this tomato? Someone found it in their garden, and doesn't it look as if someone had already cut it apart and then stitched it back together? Now look at this piece of cheese. What does it remind you of? Come on, doesn't it look like an edible piece of marble? This truck has been parked in this spot for more than 10 years. Apparently, it was long enough for a tree to grow from behind its bumper. The next picture is really hard to explain. Has the flame just moved away from the wick? Have they had an argument? Have they broken up? This leaves me with so many questions. One family got a real wake-up call when they received this newspaper. The sofa in the advertisement was exactly the same as their own. It must be a sign. They should really consider replacing this piece of furniture. If you tend to have problems choosing between red and white grapes, why not find a branch that has both, just like this person did? In this park, someone has messed up with copy-paste. I can't find any other explanation for the bizarre positioning of these benches. Can you? Someone has taken the request, just throw down a towel and save a spot for us, a little bit too seriously. Have you ever seen such tiny bananas? Neither have I. And this little patch of cloves has chosen to grow in a bottle, because why not? I have a collection of questions you've always wanted the answers to. Let's go! First, an observation. Cookies and baguettes are basically kinds of bread. So my question is, why, when left outside for the night, a cookie gets soft and a baguette becomes hard? It doesn't make any sense. Well, the thing is, cookies are sugary bread. The sugar and salt in them soak up the moisture from the atmosphere, so they get soft. Baguettes don't have much salt and sugar, so they don't attract water and just dry out. Superglue sticks everything to everything, but how come it doesn't get stuck to the tube? Turns out that the glue needs some compound with hydrogen to polymerize. In the tube, there's just oxygen and no water, but outside, there's plenty of moisture. Also, this explains why the stuff always sticks so well to your fingers. They're warm and perfectly moist. I'm sure you cried at least once when cutting an onion. Why does it happen? So onions and garlic contain amino acids, and one of the compounds gets decomposed when being sliced. It turns into an irritator when it comes in contact with water, in particular, your eyes. Your eyes release tears to wash the irritant away, so that's why you cry. There are a couple of tricks that can prevent it. When cutting an onion, try keeping a sugar cube between your teeth. It'll absorb the irritant. Another life hack is to hold a small piece of bread between your lips. It can help you too. Why do you see things when rubbing your eyes? These colors and shapes are called phosphenes. The reason why you see them is that when rubbing, you increase the pressure in your eyeballs and activate the neurons of the retina that process visual information. Once they're activated, your brain interprets it as seeing something. When you don't get enough sleep or are just too tired, you get those dark circles around your eyes. Want to know why? The skin under the eyes is very thin, so blood vessels are very close to the surface there, and you can see any difference easily. If you have a lack of sleep, your skin gets paler, and the blood vessels are even more visible. So you can see those dark circles showing through the skin. Also, with age, the skin naturally gets thinner, so that's why older people tend to have dark circles. But if you're young, just try to get more sleep. Let's pay a bit of attention to backpacks. They have a few interesting features. First, some of them have sternum straps, and they are quite helpful. They allow you to redistribute the weight of the backpack a bit, lifting some of it from your shoulders. Not much, but just enough to make your backpack lighter and easier to carry. And of course, the sternum straps prevent the shoulder straps from sliding off. Okay, the next thing is gear loops. And probably from the name of it, you already have an idea of what you need them for. You can strap in some useful gear you need with you, like trekking poles or shovels. Some gear will need to be secured to do it. Drop the handle through the loop and rotate it upward. Then, secure it with the elastic hook at the top, and you're golden. And yes, all backpacks have loops. Actually, I never thought of their purpose until today. Some people say that if you slide your thumbs through them, it makes the backpack sit tighter on your back. making it more comfortable. Other people just rest their hands there, but the reason why they're there is probably to prevent the ends from sliding back from the buckles. That would be quite a headache to slide them back all the time, right? Okay, let's look into some other ordinary stuff we've never paid attention to. Let's take, for example, jeans. They have those metal rivets. It turns out that they've been there as long as jeans exist. Jacob Davis, the man who made the first pair of jeans, added copper rivets to places where the pants were more likely to rip to make them stronger. So it was a crucial detail to keep jeans together. Today, they have a more decorative purpose because they're distinctive and traditional for jeans. Also, many zippers have the letters YKK engraved on them. Those are the initial letters of Yoshida Kogyo Kabushiki Gaisha. It's the name of a Japanese company that can be translated as Yoshida Manufacturing Shareholding Company. It's the largest zipper manufacturer in the world, so all zippers produced by them are marked with these letters. It's estimated that the company produces half of all zippers in the world. That's why you see their zippers more often than any others. Have you noticed that canned and bottled soda seems to taste different? You're not wrong, that's actually true, and there's even science behind it. Chemists say that aluminum cans have a polymer layer that absorbs some of the soda's taste, so cans indeed change the taste. Chemicals in a plastic bottle can add some acetaldehyde, a byproduct that gets formed while plastic is melted, to the drink. So they also change the taste a bit. You never really drink the original drink. If you want to try the real thing, buy sodas in glass bottles. When soda is stored this way, its taste is the most similar to the original one. Plastic bottles with soft drinks have 5 bumps on the bottom, and water and juice plastic bottles have almost flat bottoms, except for a little kink. It's not random. A plastic bottle is made by putting a plastic tube into a mold and blowing some air inside to make it expand until it takes the needed shape. The problem is that at the bottom, the bottle will always have an outward kink that will make the bottle unstable. To avoid it, some air is also pushed inward from the bottom, creating that small punt at the base of it. Flat bottle bottoms are common because they need less plastic to be made, but soft drinks and sparkling water need special treatment. These liquids have internal pressure that can push the plastic outward, messing up with the punt and the stable form of a bottle. So, soda bottles have a curved shape because this way they're more pressure resistant. Compare folding a regular piece of paper to folding a paper tube. The latter will have more resistance. In the same way, curved plastic is more resistant to any pressure. Take a closer look at your bag of chips. You can probably find these little colored circles. They're made by the manufacturer to test the print that is used on the package. They're called color control patches. The circles are not the same palette as the final package. They are layered on top of each other to achieve the final color of the bag. So why do manufacturers need them again? Imagine that something is off and the printing machine prints a bunch of wrong packages. That's a lot of wasted money. So, these control patches are there to make sure that the final print is going to be correct. If they're off, the manufacturer will know that the whole package is going to be off too. These patches allow the printers to find a surplus or a deficiency of color and solve the issue. But don't worry if you don't find these circles. They probably just got cut off. Take a good look at a milk jug. There's often an inverted circle on one of the sides. This dimple is there to make the jug more resistant and to prevent it from rupturing if the jug falls on the floor. The dimple gives some more space for the liquid to expand. Also, as the expiration date approaches, the microbes in the milk start to expel some gases. As more and more of them get trapped inside, the pressure in the jug rises. The dimple accommodates the expansion and prevents the jug from bursting.